All right, hey traders, this is your quick summary, midday summary, excuse me, for the 29th. It is just a few minutes past the 11 o'clock hour. And yeah, really kind of what we're seeing yesterday is, I would say, I don't want to say predictable, but after a big move up yesterday on Powell, the market coming to terms with, hey, we've got a big meeting coming up the next couple of days. This is something that I've been talking about a lot. I put out, you can check my Twitter feed last night, was talking about the VIX. I think some traders and investors looking at the behavior of the VIX yesterday, or, why was it only down 2%? You have big event risk. Remember what the VIX measures. So again, this is all on my Twitter feed, so I'm not going to rehash this. I'm going to try to keep this video short, 5 minutes. But remember what the VIX measures. It measures implied volatility of short-dated options. Do you think that Monday has a chance for the market to move pretty decently? I do. It's an unknown event that you have coming out. So yeah, the VIX is going to trade accordingly based on what the expectations are. If those options are implying a higher than normal move, the VIX is going to be elevated. This is basics. It's just like, and what I said last night in my Twitter feed is, it's just like option volatility, implied volatility for an earnings event, right? If you've ever paid attention to implied volatility, any name that reports earnings, it's very high going into the event. And then after the event, regardless of what the stock does up or down, the implied volatility goes down, right? It's event risk. So that's what you have going on right now in the VIX. There's a lot of, it's really difficult, I would say, without being political, which, we live in political headlines every day. There's tape bombs going on with what's going on with trade. We have a pretty unpredictable president right now. We don't know what he's going to do. I think people are starting to think that not much is going to get done. And that goes right into the option activity of what we've seen this morning. Look at all the aggressive put buying that we're seeing in some of the retail companies, right? That are probably a little bit more tariff sensitive, right? If he comes out and nothing gets done, what do you think is going to happen Monday with some names that are more tariff sensitive? And I think that's where people are kind of allocating some bets. If nothing happens, I mean, there's, could be some other reasons for this too. But my thought is, they're buying puts in a bunch of different retailers, and I think that the retailers are a little bit more sensitive to tariffs. They're where their building material, where their materials are for making clothes and so forth. So, yeah, I mean, so what I said yesterday and what I stand behind is, yesterday was a great place to take profits. If your P&L is around flat for the day, I think you're doing a good job. It is really difficult not to chase days like we saw yesterday when everything is moving up, everything looks easy, and it's like, oh, geez, why am I not long all these things? It's just how you just have to kind of put this in the context. I wasn't in every name that was going up yesterday, clearly, and I wasn't about to chase because I know that you have this meeting coming up. It's not like the green light is for everything. So going into today, I have, an extreme, as I said yesterday, a pretty big cash balance. And I'm just going to not really put on too much risk here. I talked about a couple tactical trades that you could do to kind of, if you want a little bit exposure and the risk to reward setup is pretty good. You can certainly do that in trades like EEM or FXI or even XLI. And again, that's what sometimes options are really good for, is to using a small amount of capital and looking for a big move. So that's pretty much what we got today. I'm looking at, in terms of specific trades for the day, I put on an XLV trade yesterday, the healthcare ETF. I think that is showing some nice relative strength. I also, so right here is basically where we are in the XLV healthcare ETF, right? Looking for a breakout of value here as my chart adjusts. 93.77. It looks like it's adjusting here a little bit. Yeah, it looks like 93.77 as it jumps around, but that's the level that I'm watching for XLV. I do like how this group is acting. Pfizer is a name that I've talked about frequently. I did put on a trade today in Pfizer. I'm playing for a breakout at this point, so a little bit of a chase, but I wanted that confirmation first within this group. A small trade that I put on yesterday too is Domino's Pizza. This also looks pretty nice to me. In terms of option flow, like I said, I'm going to keep this video 5 minutes. It's really not that much else. We are seeing some FXI, a big order in EFA. I have to check open interest, but I think this is an ad. If you're not familiar with EFA, it's basically the SPY for international developed markets. Very big companies in that EFA ETF, and then some small, very small call buying in things like VMware. There's another one that I just saw, but maybe it's not on here. But yeah, I would say overall pretty small call buying, except for a couple big blocks. There was a noticeable block in XHB, the home builders, going out pretty far. But you don't know if that's a hedge versus something else. It could be a hedge versus shorts. Don't know, but it did look like this XHB calls were bought, and they did go all the way out to March as well, giving it some time. So that's it. Like I said, a quick video for the day, and again, really kind of setting up for, if we get a little bit more of a dip, then things might get a little bit more attractive, and I think that's kind of where you want to be right now. Again, this video is for information purposes only, but really trying not to chase, and we'll see if some things provide a nice dip buy today. But I do see value outperforming for the day. All right, guys, that's it. Have a great day. See you later.